This is going to be going over the talents and the changes to your skills and abilities, and also the rotation you'll be doing in the MoP Classic Prepatch. What it's not going to be doing is giving you a full in-depth guide for level 90, of course. That will be released on launch day of MoP Classic itself. So let's first talk about the cooldowns and how they're changing. Killing Spree has undergone some changes. This means that it can now be used on just your priority target, even when there are ads around, due to its new interaction with our Blade Flurry. If Blade Flurry is active, it's going to continue to function as it always has and jump around to random targets in that radius. But if toggled off, it's now only going to hit your primary target with every strike, meaning that the Killing Spree cooldown is actually really good in single target. Talking of Blade Flurry, it now does 40% damage to 4 surrounding targets instead of the 100% to 1 additional target. Meaning if you only have 2 targets, it's not as effective, but in AoE situations, our rotation is much, much simpler. Preparation has also been made baseline, meaning we can get our cooldown on Vanish off whenever the hell we like on a 5-minute cooldown. Revealing Strike also has had an upgrade. It's still going to put the debuff on the target like you're going to be used to. However, it now actually is no longer consumed by your finishers, meaning we can actually keep the debuff up at all times. If you don't know about these abilities, by the way, and maybe you're a beginner, then again, this is a high-level overview of the changes being made and the rotation you're going to be doing in Prepatch. I'll have full in-depth guides for beginners and veterans on launch day of the full expansion. The energy usage of Sinister Strike has been increased to 50, which is going to really impact your output at low gear levels, but becomes less relevant as you get more item level and haste throughout the expansion. Going back to AoE as well, Fan of Knives now generates a combo point, meaning that when we have loads and loads of targets, more than 4 that is, for it to be useful, otherwise we'll just use Blade Flurry, we can actually just spam Fan of Knives to generate combo points, and then use Crimson Tempest in order to spend our combo points. We have some new abilities as well. Number 1 is going to be, of course, Crimson Tempest. This is your new AoE bleed finisher, and again, it's only going to be useful when we're using it against lots and lots of enemies. We also have Shadow Blades. This is a cooldown that causes all of our building abilities, combo point building abilities, to generate an additional combo point, meaning our burst phase now lasts a lot longer. We also have one of my new favourite abilities in all of World of Warcraft, which is the Shroud of Concealment. If you are in stealth, what we can actually do for us and our allies is get this huge circle around us, and all of our allies in our party and raid will also be concealed in stealth, really great in dungeons or raids when needing to sneak past enemies. There's also been massive changes to the talents, of course. They're not as good as they used to be, in my opinion, and I don't really love how the talents are in MoP, but anyway, we get a new talent at level 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and 90. Shadow Focus is what I'd go for at level 15, where your abilities cost a lot less when stealthed, so when you go into combat in stealth and when you vanish, you're going to be able to get through your rotation a lot quicker. On line 2, we have Deadly Throw. It's not amazing. It's a finishing move that reduces the speed of your target and also interrupts your target if you use it with 3 combo points or more. So as well as kick, we do now have this extra interrupt, but how often are we really going to be using it? On rank 3 at level 45, we have Leeching Poison. This is now going to be your default non-lethal poison that causes our attacks to poison the target, giving 10% of that damage we deal as health back to us, so adding a bit more survivability into our non-lethal poison. We're still, however, going to be using Deadly Poison as our lethal poison even. At line 75, line 60, we're going to be using Shadow Step, which is now a talent. It used to be a subtlety-specific talent. Now it can be used by all rogues. Step through the shadows and appear behind your target. Really useful for us as a combat rogue, as some of our abilities do require this. At level 75, which is the last talent you'll have available as a combat rogue before MoP Classic actually launches fully, at level 90, which is when you get your final one, we don't really have a great level 75 talent. Prey on the Weak. When you disable an enemy with all of your CC spells, they suffer increased damage from all sources, which can be useful. Dirty Tricks. Oh, you dirty trickster. Your Gout and Blind no longer have an energy cost, which is okay. And Paralytic Poison, which is a new poison where you basically root and paralyze your enemy, which I don't love personally. So yeah, I'm not overly impressed for Combat Rogue on the changes. It's okay. For the actual rotation you're going to be doing, number 1, use your combo point generator ambush whenever you can. This is going to be at the start. I'm going to get disconnected. The servers are so laggy at the moment. So use ambush whenever you can. You can only use it in stealth, but it will generate 2 combo points. After that, use revealing strike. Basically, we're just using this to keep the debuff up on our target, but again, you will get 1 combo point from it. Sinister Strike is then going to be your filler or your default combo point generator. Then, looking on to finishing moves, it's Slice and Dice to keep the buff up at all times, keep Rupture up at all times for the debuff or the bleed that you put on there from that, and then again, your filler or your most used finisher is going to be Eviscerate. So Ambush whenever you can, Revealing Strike to keep up the debuff, Sinister Strike is your main combo point builder, keep up the Slice and Dice buff at all times, keep up the Rupture bleed at all times, and Eviscerate is your main damage dealing finish combo point finisher. Then again, Blade Flurry if you have 2 to 4 targets, continue your single target rotation. If you've got 5 or more targets, then just spam Fan of Knives and then use Crimson Tempest as the finisher. You can use Vanish to go back into stealth, allowing the use of Ambush, and Preparation to get Vanish back off cooldown, so again you can use Ambush. Shadow Blades, Killing Spree, and Adrenaline Rush should all be used on cooldown as your main offensive cooldowns. And there we go, that is the current rotation for the MoP Prepatch as a combat rogue. Again, make sure to subscribe and like this video so you don't miss out on my full in-depth guides all coming on launch day of July 21st.